I have spent a lifetime observing the forces that separate those who succeed from those who fail. In my studies and interviews with men and women of extraordinary accomplishment, one truth has become abundantly clear. Success is rarely the result of grand gestures or rare strokes of luck. Rather, it is the accumulation of small, consistent actions, habits repeated day after day, year after year. Among all the habits I have observed, there is one habit that stands above all others, one that forms the foundation upon which all success is built. This habit is the deliberate practice of definiteness of purpose. It is the conscious decision to know exactly what you want in life, to define it clearly, and to align every thought, word, and action toward that end. Many people drift through life without clarity. They hope, they wish, they dream, but without a defined purpose. Their energy disperses in countless directions, and achievement becomes haphazard or illusory. Definiteness of purpose is not merely setting a goal. It is a deeper, almost sacred commitment to oneself. It requires introspection, honesty, and discipline. You must examine your desires carefully. Ask yourself, what is it that I truly want? Not what others want for me, nor what society deems worthy, but what stirs your deepest ambition. When this question is answered, you have laid the cornerstone of your success. Once you have clarity of purpose, the next step is to transform thought into habit. Thoughts alone are powerless without action. The habit I speak of involves consistent, focused action in alignment with your defined goal. Every morning, every hour, every decision becomes a step along the path you have chosen. Success is built incrementally, through persistent effort applied in the direction of your purpose. Consider this. The mind is like fertile soil. Ideas are seeds, but unless they are nurtured through habit, they will wither and die. A single, positive habit, repeated consistently, cultivates the mind and produces results over time. Conversely, habits of indecision, procrastination, and distraction starve the mind and prevent growth. One must also understand the role of autosuggestion in developing this habit. The words you speak, the thoughts you entertain, and the affirmations you repeat to yourself shape your subconscious mind. By deliberately reinforcing your purpose through daily affirmations, visualization, and reflection, you embed your goal into the deepest layers of your psyche. Your mind then works tirelessly, often without your conscious awareness, to align circumstances, decisions, and opportunities with your stated objective. I have witnessed men who, through simple but consistent practice of this habit, have transformed their lives entirely. One young man I studied, coming from humble beginnings, began each day by reviewing his definite purpose aloud and writing it in a journal. Every decision he made was measured against this purpose. Over time, his clarity and consistency attracted mentors, opportunities, and financial success, all because his mind and actions were harmonized around a single habit. Yet this habit is not purely mechanical. It is not about mindlessly repeating actions. It requires reflection and adjustment. Obstacles will appear, circumstances will change, and new information will present itself. The habit demands resilience and discernment. You must act with consistency, yet remain flexible enough to adapt intelligently to your environment. Many fail not because they lack ambition, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they fail to cultivate this foundational habit. They act inconsistently, pursue multiple goals simultaneously, or allow their attention to be captured by trivial distractions. Success, in such cases, becomes a mirage, always seeming near, but never fully realized. To internalize this habit, you must create daily rituals that reinforce it. Begin each day by clarifying your purpose, review your goals, visualize the end result, and plan the actions necessary to advance. Throughout the day, monitor your thoughts and actions to ensure alignment. At night, reflect on your progress, identify deviations, and renew your commitment for the following day. Over time, this pattern becomes second nature, and your actions are automatically directed toward your purpose. The power of one habit lies not only in the immediate results it produces, but in the compounding effect over time. Just as small deposits grow into substantial wealth through the power of interest, so to do small, purposeful actions accumulate into extraordinary achievement. This is the essence of what I call the success formula: focus, consistency, and alignment of thought and action. It is essential to recognize that this habit is not limited to financial success, though wealth often follows as a byproduct. It applies equally to relationships, health, personal development, and any area where excellence is desired. Wherever you define your purpose, a single, disciplined habit of consistent action becomes the engine driving growth and transformation. In conclusion, the first step toward understanding the power of this habit is awareness. You must acknowledge that your current patterns, your routines, distractions, and daily choices are shaping your destiny far more than you realize. By consciously adopting the habit of aligning all actions with a definite purpose, you take control of your future. You do not leave success to chance, you make it inevitable. In the next part, I will explore how faith and belief reinforce this habit, turning a simple routine into an unstoppable force that drives achievement in every aspect of life. The first habit, the deliberate alignment of your thoughts and actions with a definite purpose, is only the beginning. Habit alone, repeated mechanically, cannot carry you to the extraordinary heights of achievement. To transform mere action into unstoppable momentum, it must be fueled by faith and reinforced through autosuggestion. Faith, in the context of success, is not religious sentiment alone. It is a profound belief in your ability to achieve your definite purpose. It is the inner certainty that your goal is attainable and that you possess the capacity, resources, and resilience to reach it. Without faith, the habit of definite purpose becomes brittle, easily shaken by failure, criticism, or doubt. With faith, the same habit becomes a powerful, self-sustaining force. I have observed countless individuals who possess talent, opportunity, and intellect, yet lacked the faith to persevere. They set goals, made plans, and took action, but the moment challenges arose, their momentum faltered, doubt crept in, fear paralyzed decision-making, and inaction replaced effort. Faith is what bridges the gap between intention and outcome. It transforms uncertainty into confidence, hesitation into decisive action. But how does one cultivate faith? It is not given, it is developed. And this is where the principle of autosuggestion comes into play. Autosuggestion is the deliberate practice of influencing your subconscious mind through repeated affirmations, visualization, and intentional thought. When you repeatedly impress upon yourself the reality of your goal, the mind begins to accept it as inevitable. Your subconscious then works tirelessly to align circumstances, ideas, and actions toward its fulfillment. Consider a man who desires to start a successful business. Alone, the goal is abstract. The mind questions feasibility. The heart wavers in fear. Yet, by daily affirmations spoken aloud or silently of his competence, resilience, and commitment, he impresses upon himself the certainty of success. Visualizing the end result, feeling the emotions of achievement, and reinforcing the belief that failure is temporary, transforms mental energy into tangible progress. Faith and autosuggestion are mutually reinforcing. Faith enhances the effectiveness of autosuggestion, and autosuggestion strengthens faith. Together, they convert the simple habit of taking daily, purposeful action into a force that bends reality toward your desires. A habit without belief is a body without a soul. Belief without action is a dream without substance. Only their union produces the profound impact necessary for extraordinary achievement. I have interviewed dozens of men who achieved remarkable wealth, influence, and success, and I have observed a common thread. Each had cultivated faith through deliberate, repeated autosuggestion. One individual, born into poverty, used a combination of clear purpose and daily affirmations to program his mind for success. He visualized his goals in vivid detail, spoke them as though already accomplished, and reinforced them with action every day. Over time, opportunities that seemed impossible aligned, partnerships formed, and results appeared almost magically. Yet there was no magic, only faith, repeated habits, and subconscious alignment. Autosuggestion is more than mere words. It is the language of the subconscious, the communication channel between your conscious intention and the vast mental forces that influence your behavior. Every idea, thought, or belief you reinforce becomes a seed planted in fertile soil. Nurture it with clarity, repetition, and emotion, and it will grow into decisive action and tangible results. Neglect it, and weeds of doubt, fear, and procrastination take root instead. Emotion is critical in this process. The mind responds not only to repetition, but also to intensity of feeling. A casual statement, "I will succeed," has little impact, but a declaration infused with passion, certainty, and conviction felt deeply in every fiber of your being activates the subconscious in a way that mere words cannot. The emotional intensity magnifies the habit, embedding it deeply into your psyche. Another vital aspect of autosuggestion is specificity. Vague goals create vague results. "I want success" is ineffective. "I will achieve X by doing Y," measured by Z, within this time frame, is precise, actionable, and programmatically powerful. The subconscious mind recognizes the clarity of intent and begins aligning thought, opportunity, and action toward it. The habit, once reinforced with faith and autosuggestion, begins to compound. Each day's action, guided by belief and clarity, strengthens mental pathways, builds confidence, and attracts circumstances that support your purpose. Challenges that would have derailed a novice now become tests to overcome. Each victory reinforcing the habit, each obstacle offering feedback to refine action. It is important to note that this process is not passive. Autosuggestion is not a wish or a fleeting thought, it is a deliberate, disciplined engagement with the mind. It requires daily attention, focus, and emotional investment. Just as a muscle strengthens with repeated exercise, so too does your capacity for faith and focus grow with practice. Neglect or inconsistency weakens the process, allowing doubt and distraction to erode progress. I have counseled individuals who attempted to succeed through talent or luck alone, ignoring the mental discipline of autosuggestion. Time and again, they faltered. In contrast, those who devoted themselves to the combination of habit, faith, and mental reinforcement found that opportunities, resources, and creative solutions seem to appear, as if by design. This is not mysticism, it is the natural consequence of aligning conscious action with subconscious power. Finally, let me emphasize the universality of this principle. Whether your goal is wealth, mastery of a skill, leadership, or personal growth, the habit of focused action, reinforced by faith and autosuggestion, applies equally. It does not depend on circumstances, talent, or external conditions. It depends on the disciplined management of your mind and actions. In the next section, I will explore the principle of persistence, the habit that ensures faith and autosuggestion translate into sustained effort over the long term, and how the combination of these forces transforms a single habit into a lifelong engine of success. Once the habit of definite purpose has been established and reinforced through faith and autosuggestion, there remains a critical ingredient without which even the most promising plans falter: persistence. While clarity and belief set the direction and fuel the mind, persistence is the engine that drives consistent action over time. Without it, the single habit that changes everything remains potential, never realized. Persistence is not merely stubbornness or blind repetition. It is the sustained, determined application of effort toward a clearly defined goal, regardless of obstacles, setbacks, or temporary failures. Many fail to achieve their ambitions not because they lack talent, resources, or ideas, but because they quit too early. The road to success is rarely linear. It is fraught with challenges, delays, and uncertainty. Only those who persist endure long enough to see results. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur I studied who dreamed of launching a business. Despite repeated failures, each time an investment fell through or a product failed to sell, most would have given up. Yet he persisted, adjusting his strategies while keeping the end goal in mind. His habit of taking purposeful action daily, reinforced by faith and autosuggestion, allowed him to learn from mistakes rather than be paralyzed by them. Eventually, his persistence paid off, and his business became a substantial success. This illustrates a fundamental truth. Opportunity often appears just after the point where most give up. Consistency is closely tied to persistence. Taking action in alignment with your purpose sporadically is insufficient. To achieve extraordinary results, the habit must be applied daily, with discipline and attention to detail. This is the secret behind the accumulation of wealth, skill, and influence among the most successful individuals I have observed. They did not rely on bursts of effort or moments of inspiration. They relied on a steady, reliable application of purpose-driven action. Many people underestimate the compounding power of daily effort. Just as small financial investments grow exponentially through interest, so too does consistent action accumulate into extraordinary achievement. Each day, each deliberate choice, builds upon the previous day, creating momentum that becomes increasingly difficult to stop. Conversely, inconsistency erodes momentum, and inaction compounds failure. Persistence also strengthens mental resilience. By facing obstacles repeatedly and refusing to quit, you build confidence in your capacity to overcome challenges. Fear of failure diminishes, hesitation weakens, and courage grows. This mental fortitude becomes itself a habit, another layer of self-reinforcing behavior that supports the original habit of purposeful action. I have seen examples across every field: artists, inventors, business leaders, athletes. The common factor is a persistent, unbroken focus on the goal, even when external validation is absent and progress seems minimal. The most successful individuals develop what I call a momentum mindset. They treat every action as a step toward the inevitable realization of their purpose. To cultivate persistence, you must anchor it in your daily routine. Begin each day by reviewing your definite purpose, visualizing the end result, and planning your most important actions. Throughout the day, monitor yourself, ensure that every significant decision supports your goal. At the end of the day, reflect on your progress, celebrate small wins, and adjust where necessary. Over time, these daily rituals reinforce persistence and embed it into your character. Obstacles should not be feared. They are an essential part of the process. Persistence is not only about moving forward when everything is easy, it is about moving forward when adversity tests your commitment. Every challenge provides an opportunity to strengthen the habit, to refine your methods, and to deepen your understanding of the forces that shape success. Persistence is often tested by doubt, criticism, and the influence of others. Many individuals abandon their goals because friends, family, or colleagues question their plans or discourage their ambition. Yet the persistent individual uses these external voices not as deterrents, but as opportunities to reaffirm commitment. They learn to rely on their own clarity of purpose, faith, and mental discipline rather than external approval. An essential technique to reinforce persistence is recording and measuring progress. Track your actions, note successes and failures, and visualize cumulative progress over time. Seeing tangible evidence of advancement, even if incremental, reinforces your belief in the habit and encourages continued effort. Small, consistent wins build confidence, reduce doubt, and maintain momentum. The psychological principle behind persistence is simple. Repeated action rewires the mind. By continually acting in alignment with your purpose, you train your subconscious to accept achievement as natural. Over time, obstacles that once seemed insurmountable are navigated with increasing ease, and opportunities that once appeared rare or accidental now become predictable results of your deliberate effort. Yet it is critical to maintain balance. Persistence must be intelligent and strategic. Blind effort without reflection can lead to wasted energy. Evaluate your methods, learn from mistakes, and adapt. Persistence is not about stubbornly repeating ineffective actions. It is about sustained, purposeful, adaptive effort. I have often spoken of persistence as the bridge between desire and achievement. A burning desire is the spark, faith is the fuel, and persistence is the engine. Together with the single habit of daily purposeful action, they form the triad that can overcome nearly any obstacle, attract opportunity, and produce results that appear miraculous to those who have not studied the formula. Consistency and persistence also reinforce other habits. When you persist daily, your mental discipline strengthens, your confidence increases, and your ability to maintain other positive habits such as self-education, networking, and personal growth improves dramatically. The habit becomes holistic, affecting every area of life, multiplying impact beyond the original goal. The lesson is clear. Without persistence, even the most inspired purpose falters. The majority of individuals who fail do so not because they are incapable, but because they quit too early. Those who persist, however, gradually align circumstances, refine skills, attract collaborators, and manifest results that seem impossible at the outset. Persistence is the habit that ensures your single habit daily. Purposeful action remains active until it produces its full effect. It transforms intention into tangible outcomes, belief into reality, and small daily efforts into monumental achievements. Without it, the success formula remains theory. With it, it becomes unstoppable practice. In the next part, I will discuss Mastermind Alliances and the role of environment, explaining how your habit interacts with the people and circumstances around you to amplify your results, turning individual persistence into multiplied influence. By now, you understand the central habit: daily, purposeful action toward a definite goal, fueled by faith, autosuggestion, and sustained by persistence. But even the strongest individual habit reaches its maximum potential only when it is amplified by the people and environment around you. This is where the principle of the Mastermind Alliance becomes crucial. A Mastermind Alliance is a group of like-minded individuals who come together with a shared purpose to support, challenge, and inspire one another towards success. It is more than networking or casual collaboration. It is a deliberate, structured union in which each participant contributes knowledge, insight, encouragement, and resources, while simultaneously receiving the same from others. The power of a Mastermind Alliance lies in mental and emotional synergy. Two or more minds working in harmony create a force far greater than the sum of its parts. Ideas multiply, solutions emerge faster, and challenges are navigated with combined wisdom. The habit you cultivate daily, purposeful action, becomes exponentially more effective when you are supported by others who share your vision or complement your strengths. One have studied countless individuals who attribute the majority of their success not to their personal genius, but to the alliances they formed. One entrepreneur, struggling to launch his product, found that joining a mastermind group gave him access to advice, mentorship, and connections he could not have achieved alone. His habit of focused, daily effort was amplified by the accountability, feedback, and encouragement from the group. Within months, his business not only stabilized but expanded beyond what he had imagined possible. But the effectiveness of a Mastermind Alliance is not automatic. It requires careful selection of participants. Surround yourself with individuals who are positive, goal-oriented, and aligned in purpose. Avoid those who are negative, critical, or indifferent, for such influences can sap energy, reduce motivation, and dilute the effectiveness of your habit. The environment you inhabit, the people you associate with, the ideas you consume, the attitudes you adopt directly impacts your success. Environmental influence extends beyond individuals. Physical surroundings, routines, and social culture shape behavior subtly but powerfully. A cluttered, disorganized, or chaotic environment makes consistent action more difficult. Conversely, a space organized to support your purpose-dedicated work areas, tools at hand, reminders of your goals reinforces your habit. The habit of daily purposeful action thrives in a conducive environment and struggles in one that is neglectful or distracting. The principle is clear. Your mind does not operate in isolation. External conditions, people, and surroundings either support or inhibit the expression of your most powerful habit. To maximize the impact of your habit, you must deliberately craft your environment to reinforce it. This may involve seeking mentors, creating accountability systems, or surrounding yourself with inspiring symbols of your purpose. Mastermind alliances also foster creativity and problem solving. When one mind encounters a challenge, the collective intelligence of the group can identify solutions more quickly than an individual acting alone. This not only accelerates progress, but also strengthens the habit of deliberate action, as obstacles are less likely to cause discouragement or inaction. Moreover, shared energy and enthusiasm are contagious. When you participate in a group of driven individuals, their determination reinforces your own. The emotional boost strengthens your faith, renews your persistence, and makes the daily application of your habit more effortless and rewarding. Social reinforcement, accountability, and shared success multiply the power of a single habit into a force that shapes your life trajectory. Consider another example. A writer committed to publishing a book. Alone, procrastination, doubt, or distraction might impede progress. By joining a mastermind of other writers and creatives, sharing goals, receiving critique, and celebrating milestones, the habit of daily writing becomes embedded in a broader system of support. Each session, each shared accountability, compounds the habit, producing results far beyond what would be possible in isolation. Environmental awareness also includes mental and informational surroundings. Reading inspiring works, listening to motivational talks, and immersing yourself in knowledge aligned with your purpose reinforces belief and autosuggestion. Just as negativity can erode persistence, positive information and ideas accelerate it. The habit of deliberate action is strengthened when your mind is nourished by content and experiences that resonate with your definite purpose. The Mastermind Alliance, coupled with a supportive environment, transforms the single habit from a personal discipline into a catalyst for broader influence and impact. The habit ceases to be a private routine and becomes part of a system that shapes opportunities, generates ideas, and attracts resources. In other words, your success begins to compound not only within you, but across your network and environment. It is critical to remember that alliances and environment do not replace personal responsibility. The habit must remain central. You cannot rely solely on external support. It merely enhances what you are already doing. Daily, purposeful action remains the engine, and faith, autosuggestion, and persistence are the fuel. The alliance is the amplifier, multiplying the effect of your consistent efforts. Finally, the power of environment and alliances demonstrates a profound truth. Success is both individual and collective. While the habit is personal, its impact is magnified by the people and circumstances you engage with. To maximize your results, you must actively curate your environment, invest in meaningful alliances, and ensure that every element around you reinforces, rather than undermines, your habit. In the next part, I will focus on overcoming fear and self-doubt, exploring how the single habit, combined with faith, persistence, and supportive alliances, can neutralize the internal obstacles that prevent most from achieving their goals. Even with a clearly defined purpose, the habit of daily, deliberate action, faith, and persistence, many still fail to achieve their goals. The reason lies within fear and self-doubt. These invisible forces are among the greatest obstacles to success, silently undermining confidence, weakening resolve, and diverting effort from meaningful action. Understanding how to confront and neutralize them is essential. If your single habit is to truly transform your life, fear manifests in many forms. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of poverty, fear of rejection, fear of change, and even fear of success itself. Each type of fear operates at a subconscious level, often invisible to conscious thought. It may appear as hesitation, procrastination, rationalization, or distraction. Yet behind these behaviors is the same underlying mechanism, the mind resisting what it perceives as risk or danger. Self-doubt accompanies fear, casting shadows over your faith and undermining your autosuggestion. You may repeat affirmations, visualize success, and take persistent action, yet if doubt seeps in, it weakens the effect. The subconscious mind listens not only to what you declare, but also to the beliefs you secretly hold. Confidence and doubt are in constant tension, and the outcome of that tension shapes the trajectory of your habit. The first step in overcoming fear is awareness. Acknowledge the fears and doubts that exist within you. Name them, write them down, and examine them honestly. Fear becomes less formidable when it is brought into the light of conscious observation. A nameless, undefined fear has power because it operates in darkness. A recognized fear loses that power because it can now be addressed rationally. Next comes understanding the source of fear. Often, fear rises from imagined consequences rather than actual danger. You may fear failure because you anticipate embarrassment, financial loss, or disappointment. Yet these consequences are largely constructs of the mind, not inevitabilities. By analyzing the worst-case scenario, planning responses, and rehearsing solutions, you reduce fear to manageable proportions. I have observed countless individuals who allowed fear to control their decisions. A talented young man refused to start his own company because he feared public failure. Yet when he faced the reality of the situation, acknowledging risks, visualizing strategies, and preparing contingencies, he discovered that the fear, once understood, lost its paralyzing effect. The habit of daily action, combined with deliberate planning, neutralized what once seemed insurmountable. Faith and autosuggestion remain critical in this process. Persistent repetition of affirmations, visualizations, and positive declarations strengthens belief and counters the negative influence of fear. Statements like "I am capable of achieving my definite purpose," or "every obstacle I encounter is an opportunity for growth," gradually reshape the subconscious. Replacing doubt with confidence. The habit of aligning action with purpose becomes resilient, capable of persisting even in the presence of internal resistance. Another essential tool is association. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire courage, model confidence, and challenge limiting beliefs. As discussed in the previous section, Mastermind Alliances magnify the habit's power. They also serve as a buffer against fear. The encouragement, insight, and accountability provided by supportive peers reduce self-doubt and reinforce persistence. Fear thrives in isolation, but with connection and guidance, it diminishes. Practical exercises can further strengthen your capacity to overcome fear. One method is gradual exposure. Deliberately confronting situations that trigger fear in small, manageable steps. Each successful encounter builds confidence, demonstrating to the subconscious that risk can be managed and that action leads to growth. Over time, the intensity of fear diminishes, and the habit of consistent, purpose-driven action becomes easier to maintain. I have also emphasized the role of knowledge and preparation. Fear often stems from uncertainty. By educating yourself, acquiring skills, and anticipating challenges, you transform fear into informed caution. A well-prepared mind acts decisively, an unprepared mind hesitates. The habit of deliberate action thrives in the presence of preparation, reinforcing momentum and minimizing doubt. It is equally important to reinterpret setbacks. Failure is inevitable on the path to meaningful achievement. Yet how you perceive failure determines its effect. Treat failure as feedback, as a lesson, and as an opportunity to refine your approach. When framed this way, setbacks do not weaken your habit, they strengthen it, providing insight, motivation, and evidence of resilience. Fear loses power when failure is understood, not as a threat, but as a necessary part of growth. Finally, cultivate the habit of self-discipline in thought. The mind is continuously bombarded with negative influences, criticism, media, envy, and comparison. By consciously directing your thoughts toward your definite purpose, affirming your abilities, and visualizing success, you prevent fear and self-doubt from taking root. Thought discipline ensures that your habit, faith, and persistence remain unshaken. Overcoming fear is not a single event, it is an ongoing process. Each day presents new challenges, internal and external. Yet with deliberate effort, the habit of aligning action with purpose, reinforced by faith, autosuggestion, and persistence, becomes a shield against fear. Your ability to act consistently grows, and the internal resistance that once limited achievement is transformed into motivation. Remember, the single habit that changes everything is resilient action toward a definite purpose. Fear and self-doubt are forces that test this habit, but they do not determine its success. By acknowledging, understanding, and systematically countering them, you ensure that the habit remains active, powerful, and unstoppable. In the next and final part, I will bring together all 6 components: habit, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, environment, and overcoming fear, showing how the integration of these forces produces the extraordinary results that Napoleon Hill Success Formula promises. We have explored the 6 essential forces that underpin the habits that changes everything: a definite purpose, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, mastermind alliances and environment, and overcoming fear and self-doubt. Now it is time to see how they function together as a complete system of formula that, when applied consistently, produces extraordinary results in every area of life. At the core of this formula lies the habit itself, the disciplined, deliberate action aligned with a clear purpose. This is the foundation. Without it, all other principles are abstract. But the habit alone, while powerful, is greatly enhanced by the other elements, forming a web of interdependent forces that magnify effectiveness. First, definite purpose establishes direction. It tells your mind where to focus, where to invest energy, and where to measure success. Without a clear purpose, action becomes scattered, goals become vague, and energy is wasted. Your purpose provides clarity that anchor for all other elements. Every decision, every step, every effort is measured against it. This habit of purposeful alignment becomes automatic over time, shaping your daily routine, decisions, and even your subconscious patterns. Next, faith fuels the habit. Action without belief is weak and inconsistent. Faith transforms hope into conviction. It strengthens the habit against challenges, doubts, and distractions. Coupled with autosuggestion, faith programs the subconscious mind to recognize opportunity, generate solutions, and align thoughts with the desired outcome. Daily repetition of affirmations, visualization, and mental rehearsal ensures that belief is deeply embedded, creating a self-reinforcing cycle. Faith strengthens action, and action strengthens faith. Persistence sustains the habit over time. Success rarely comes overnight. Obstacles, delays, and failures are inevitable. The habit of consistent, focused action, when combined with persistence, ensures that temporary setbacks do not derail progress. Persistence is the engine that transforms intention into reality. Every repeated effort compounds over time, creating momentum and reinforcing confidence, skills, and mastery. The Mastermind Alliance and environment amplify the habit beyond what one individual can achieve alone. Your surroundings, the people you interact with, and the influences you absorb play a critical role. A supportive environment enhances clarity, provides guidance, and multiplies opportunities. A well-chosen mastermind group offers accountability, advice, and creative problem-solving. The synergy of aligned minds increases speed, effectiveness, and the reach of your efforts, turning a personal habit into a force that attracts resources, ideas, and collaboration. Finally, overcoming fear and self-doubt clears the path for sustained application of the habit. Fear and doubt are universal barriers. They challenge every ambitious individual. Yet, when confronted, analyzed, and neutralized, they no longer dictate your behavior. Faith, autosuggestion, and persistence act as shields, while awareness, preparation, and deliberate mental discipline provide tools to navigate uncertainty. Each encounter with fear becomes a step toward mastery. strengthening the habit and reinforcing belief. When integrated, these 6 forces form a complete, self-reinforcing system. Definite purpose provides direction, faith and autosuggestion energize and program the mind, persistence sustains effort, mastermind alliances and environment amplify results, and overcoming fear removes internal obstacles. The habit of daily, purposeful action becomes the central hub around which all other forces revolve. Together, they create a feedback loop that accelerates achievement. Action produces results. Results reinforce belief. Belief strengthens habit. And the cycle continues. To illustrate, consider the journey of an individual pursuing a major life goal, writing a groundbreaking book. Initially, they define their purpose with clarity: to produce a book that inspires change. Faith fuels their belief in success. Autosuggestion programs the subconscious mind to generate ideas and maintain confidence. Persistence ensures daily writing despite distractions or rejection. A mastermind of fellow writers and mentors provides guidance, accountability, and encouragement. Fear of failure is confronted, analyzed, and diminished through mental discipline and preparation. Over months and years, the habit of purposeful action, supported by these forces, compounds. Ideas flow more freely, productivity increases, and opportunities for publication and recognition emerge. What once seemed overwhelming, the magnitude of the task, the possibility of rejection, the fear of inadequacy, becomes manageable. The habit becomes self-reinforcing. Momentum carries the individual forward, producing results far beyond what could be achieved through willpower or intelligence alone. This formula works not only for writing or business, but for any endeavor: financial independence, leadership, skill mastery, personal development, or health. It is universal because it addresses both internal and external factors: mindset, behavior, environment, and social influence. It transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes by structuring action, belief, and support into a coherent system. To implement this system effectively, consider the following steps. Clarify your definite purpose, write it down, review it daily, and visualize the outcome. Cultivate faith, affirm your belief, immerse yourself in positive influences, and reinforce your ability to succeed. Practice autosuggestion repeatedly, impress your goals upon your subconscious mind through visualization, emotion, and verbal affirmation. Apply persistence, take deliberate, consistent action daily, adjusting intelligently when obstacles arise. Create a supportive environment, build alliances with like-minded individuals, and surround yourself with conditions that reinforce your purpose. Confront fear and self-doubt, identify fears, plan responses, take gradual exposure steps, and reinterpret setbacks as lessons. By following these steps, the single habit of daily, purposeful action becomes unstoppable. It is no longer just a routine, it is the driver of transformation, the engine of achievement, and the key to turning potential into reality. Ultimately, the success formula is simple but profound. It shows that extraordinary achievement does not rely on rare talent, luck, or external conditions. It relies on a single, disciplined habit, integrated with belief, mental conditioning, persistent effort, supportive alliances, and the courage to confront fear. Those who master this system gain a force that propels them toward goals that once seemed impossible, producing results that are consistent, measurable, and replicable. The lesson is clear. You do not need to change everything about yourself to achieve greatness. Begin with one habit daily, focused, purposeful action toward a definite goal, and systematically reinforce it with faith, persistence, support, and courage. This single habit, when applied correctly, changes everything.